Okay, dear subscribers and viewers, today you want to see why a man cannot be satisfied. Until you know this one, you never struggle because you're struggling for things that we don't know. Let us now come to this whiteboard and understand the truth that many people, I don't think if you know this one. In the beginning, God created man. In this one, we're the same. That's why God said, let us create a man in our own image. Therefore, the image of God will equal to the image of man. If this image and this image are the same, because God said, create our own image in our own likeness. And we see that according to the book of John, John chapter 4, when Jesus Christ was talking to that Samaritan woman at the well, he said this one, go and read the war story so that you can understand. Well, it's a book of John chapter 4. When Jesus said, God is the Spirit. God is the Spirit, and those who worship Him should worship Him in the Spirit and in truth. Therefore, what I can say, according to the Bible, if God the Spirit is not in the flesh, the man now, we see him in the flesh. And God, and therefore the man resembles the God in spirit, the same. Therefore, this is the likeness of God and man. But according to the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 7, the flesh fights against the spirit. Spirit fights against the flesh. That's what we can see now. And now, what the picture do you get now is that one. The man, this is the man. This is God. I don't draw God. This is God. Okay? And the man in him, because he was created by God from the dust, therefore the image of God is not in the dust. The image of God is in the man himself, the inner man. And therefore God put God in man. And that the Spirit. After the fall, when Eve and Adam, are we together? Eve and Adam went against, followed the one known as Satan, and they hide themselves from the Spirit. They lost the image of God. That's why when God came, Eve and Adam ran away from God because they saw that they were different. Before, they were not to run because they were the same. You cannot run away from a man whom you see. For example, if you are walking downward and you meet men walking, it won't be easy for you to get astonished in the land. But if, for example, you're lost in the forest. So just to give this, for example, you're lost in the forest and then you find no one. But as time goes on, you find men there. That's why if you see even one man, you will have hope. You say, now I can live. But what happens when you see lions and cheetah and tigers and jaguars and different carnivores? What I can say, you will be afraid of everything. Therefore, what I can say is, when God came, Eve and Adam, they hid themselves. They ran away from God because the spirit was different. Now we are going, why a man cannot be satisfied. If we see he lost the image of God, why a man now is struggling and never gets satisfied? And let us see today what happens, why a man cannot be satisfied. Why a man cannot be satisfied. Okay, let us go now. Why a man cannot be satisfied. Satisfaction. You know how to write it well, because now I'm just making some simple explanation about why a man cannot be satisfied. As we have seen before, about a man lost the image of God. Therefore, because he had the Spirit of God, the spirit that is the likeness of God lost. He got lost. And Satan took that seat, a moment in life of man. Therefore, in the likeness of God, Satan became Adam and Eve became in likeness of Satan. Do we get here? In a moment, the likeness of God went out and the likeness of Satan came inside. That's why somewhere Jesus says in the book of John chapter 8 from verse 40, you can read there. They say that your father is Satan and you like to do things that Satan does. But the moment Adam resembled Satan. But Jesus Christ, for the Jesus Christ's sake, as he chose to die for us, that seat, that empty, that darkness, that spirit of God that left, and Satan, that darkness left. That's why there was enmity. Enmity was established between man, or the seed of man, and Satan, because now something like a hole left became existing here. Do you get? I just want you to get me now. Before Jesus Christ's death or decision to die, man, after he went against God, chose to eat that tree that was commanded to not eat. Therefore, he lost the image of God. And here, Satan took the seat. That's why they ran away from God. And Jesus Christ chose to die, and therefore, some enmity came between man and Satan. Therefore, that likeness that God has put, which was taken away by Satan, deception. Therefore, the whole, like the empty space remained, where God is outside and Satan is outside. They are waiting for that seat. But because a man is flesh and God is not flesh, and before the beginning of before the fall of man, the flesh was in harmony with the spirit. Now the spirit is outside. And then the flesh is acquainted with what came last, and that is Satan, deception, and sin. Therefore, the sin is acquainted with the flesh. Therefore, the flesh is almost doing sin every time. Though a man doesn't know God, but he will do sin always. Therefore, here there is a war. And a man always struggles to fill this war with things because he feels that he misses something. Therefore, man tries to find car, money, prosperity, and so on. Men love, wife, and everything he can to fill this hole, this emptiness that has been left since the fall of man. But we know in order to fill this, you don't need to search for money, for wealth, for anything, for love, relationship, wife, husband, children. You can get all things, but you won't fill this because it is fitted only for the spirit. Therefore, what you need to do is to seek for the spirit to enter into your heart. When the spirit comes into this and it fills this space, therefore we become in the image of God as you were created before. Do you get me? As you were created before. Therefore the image of God returns. But because of this flesh, there will be always the war between flesh and spirit. That's the image of God. But the good news is this one. The good news is the man now are the spirit, which is more powerful than the flesh. Therefore, you know now we have hope in Jesus Christ, who comes and lives within us and gives us power over flesh. Therefore, you cannot fall into sin. Do you get me? That's why I want to say that a man will never satisfied until he knows this. And if you know this now, and now you can follow God, you can accept God, you can stop pursuing money as your target of life. Money, car, do you get me? See the thing, car, what we call the one people want to be famous, and so many other things, education, having a title, and so many things that we want to get. But if you need to feel this, you need to seek for God to enter into our heart. Even if we have few dollars, maybe $2, maybe you need everything, but you have only US dollars too. You can live because you have Jesus Christ. He will provide. You should not live by money. You live by only the word of God. According to the book of Matthew chapter 4 verse 4, a man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Therefore, what I can say is a man will never be satisfied until his whole that was left by Spirit of God, which is empty now, until it is filled by the Spirit. The reason is that all men will get lost until they accept Jesus, because the world will remain empty and they will live as the flesh leads them. Therefore, they will be against God and they cannot be taken to heaven. Therefore, you need to accept Jesus. You need to accept God to go to heaven, because the Spirit, because you will die and after death, you will be resurrected. What is needed is the Spirit, not the flesh. Therefore, fight for the Spirit to be light, not for the flesh to be right. People struggling with food, clothes, and so many. You won't take it don't take it to heaven by clothes. On the Spirit. Eat for the Spirit. Read the Word. Find the food that can make the Spirit resemble God's Spirit. May God bless you. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Share with the different people that they can understand. And the people who say that I'm struggling with everything, but I don't get peace, because the hole which is in his heart is not filled. Therefore, share with him this video, or her with this video, that he or she can understand what God needs us to understand. May God bless you, and please pray for me that I can keep giving things that will help people to know Jesus Christ and be saved at the last. Satan is against me, I know, but I believe that Jesus Christ is more powerful than Satan, and Satan will never overcome Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is on our side. Not get afraid of this one. Trust in Jesus Christ. He can give you everything you need, but if you let him stay in your heart as the king and the rule of your life, and make you be like God in the Spirit, not in the flesh, in the Spirit. That's a good news you can have. Sin will have no control. Sin, thing that we need to hate most, that is this. May God bless you.